So, hello everyone, and today is the day 4. And till now, what we discussed about the various modules we have prepared while preparing this chatbot. Okay? And on the very first day, I discussed about the Google Doc which I have prepared, which I have documented each and everything in detail, that what is .py file, what is main.py file, what is config.py file, basically every files which contains every single details. And if you want that Google Doc itself, so I will be sharing that Google Doc in the chat itself, so you can have access for that. And also one thing, I need your Gmail ID for such, so that I can give you the access for that particular Google Doc. Okay, now let's move on to our discussion. And just give me a second. Yeah, I have opened my VS Code here, and similarly, if you guys can recall, I have to just open my folder from here. And how you can open the folder from VS Code is same as just go into the file option, and here you can see the option of open folder. Just go here. Uh, my particular project folder is in C drive, so let me open my C drive. Again in C drive, it was in users. In users, it's in Avinash, and here talent scout hiring system. Yeah, no, this was not the particular folder. What I will do, I will just open my another. Just give me a second. Users Avinash, uh, talent chatbot. Yeah. So basically, in my previous video, we have discussed about config.py, and basically what config.py is. Config.py is the brain of our chatbot. Brain in the sense means like any instructions which we are feeding into the chatbot will get recepted by this particular config.py. And what particular config.py holds? It holds our API key, and also it holds our exit keywords. Like for example, if you are using a chatbot and if you want to exit that particular chatbot, so you can simply type exit, quit, buy, end, stop. So basically these five things which I found out that these particular five words should be there. But again, it's up to you. You can take whatever words which align to you. But yes, or whatever words, and again, it doesn't mean that you will take any word of your choice. No, the word should align, that it should convey that you are exiting the chatbot. For example, if you are conveying something, you if you are conveying something to someone, right? So what you will do, you will just communicate with certain words, right? So for that particular communication, that word should align with your mind. So for that particular thing, the chatbot should also understand that what are those particular words which will convey that you are no longer interested in this particular chat and you wanted to quit, right? And again here, default tech stack. What do you mean by default tech stack? Default tech stack particularly means for which particular domain you are getting interviewed for. So for example, I have written here Python, Django, React, and data science. You can take whatever of your choice. You can write here Java, JavaScript. You can write here full stack developer, means like anything of your choice. And what this will do, whenever you are typing Python, Django, so my API key will redirect to the Gen AI website or the Gen AI tools, and from there it will fetch the questions. And again, pertaining to that particular questions, you can be able to answer those. Okay, so these all things basically contained in config.py. And most of you have the question like why I have uh, mainly made all these particular files separately. Means config.py file is there, prompts.py file is there, utils.py file is there, data handler, test data, take questions, test take questions.py, test prompts.py, test utils, test chatbot. So basically, why all these things are there? Why I have differently prepared all these py files? So like again, it's up to your choice. Means like basically what these things is called. These things is called means like modular approach. I have particularly made different modules for different purposes. Again, similar to this approach, what you can do, you can just use object oriented programming. You can create a class, you can create a class of config.py, another class of prom.py. You can use inheritance, basically every concept pertaining to object oriented programming you can perform, and you can successfully create this chatbot, right? But why I personally I focused on upon modular approach is the same thing. Like I find it more conveniently. And again, if you are convenient in object oriented programming, so you can go with that approach. So what today we will do, we will just understand basically what is utils.py. And basically after config.py, we don't have to jump on utils.py. We have to write the prom.py. Prom.py means again the prompts which you are giving to a chatbot, right? So you can see here the prompts are uh, I have created one function def greeting prompt, and here I have particularly conveyed the person who is using the chatbot. I told him that hello, I am talent scout hiring assistant, and I will help you collect few details and ask you some technical questions. Let's get started. Okay. So before this, what I will do, I will just open my Google Doc here once, and so that you can get the idea side by side, and you can also understand it in a much better way. Okay. So chat hiring assistant chatbot. Yeah. Okay. So you can see here the very first step was creating our config.py file, and in config.py file we have written all those configuration which is needed for this particular chatbot. And again in the second, I have written here prompts.py. Prompt.py, here we will be sending out the prompts, and basically I've written here all the code also, but I will demonstrate it live here, and I will just write here one by one. And here when you will open uh, prompt.py, so let me open that particular file. Yeah, here first of first what I will do, the very first thing, for example, if you are opening any chatbot, uh, so first of first what that chatbot will do, that particular chatbot will greet you, right? So I am defining one function here, def greeting prompt, def greeting prompt, and I will return what I will return. I will return, like for example, whatever message you have to return it to the chatbot, right? So that particular thing you will write. Again, it's up to your choice, means like whatever uh, message you wanna prompt to the user, you can give it. But again, here what we are doing, we are basically building this chatbot so that it can take the technical questions, basically the interview before a candidate should appear in front of an HR, right? So for that particular thing, this chatbot is there, and this chatbot will conduct your interview and will ask you technical questions. So first of first, what I will do, I will just copy paste these things, and here you can see what it says. It says, hello, I am talent scout hiring assistant. I will help collect a few details and ask you some technical questions, and let's get started. So basically, whatever thing you are putting inside this return statement, right? So that particular thing will be displayed upon your chatbot whenever you are opening this chatbot, right? So now what I will do, I will just use another function, and in another function what I will do, I will write def info dot prompt info, and basically here will be all the prompts which particular chatbot will ask to you. Like for example, if you are operating this chatbot, so what the first thing chatbot will ask, chatbot will certainly ask your name, right? What's your full name? Then again, what it will ask, it will ask you email. Then again, it will ask you phone number, then experience, then position, location, and again what are your expertise, means like for what particular thing you are ready to give the interview for, whether it's for Python, whether it's for Django, whether it's for Flask, whether it's for anything. Again, it's up to your choice. For that particular thing, in config.py we have created this tech stack function. uh, in that tech stack list, it contains all the elements, all the domains list, right? So again, you can see here, but basically this prompts, what is this prompt? When you will see its data type, this particular prompts a dictionary, and it holds a key value pair. How key value pair? You can see your name. Name particularly, it's the key here, and the value is what's your full name. So whenever you will type your name, then the key will hold a value of name, and and the value of that particular key will be your particular name. Similarly for email as well, uh, if you are feeding your email, so the keys will be the email, and the values of that particular key will be the email id which you have provided to that particular chatbot, right? So I will write here one by one. I will write here first name, and inside name what I will do, its value will be what is your full name. Okay. And similarly I will be doing the same thing for the email and for all the other things as well. So you can see here what I've written here. I have asked the details of the user, its particular name, email ID, its phone number, experience, like how many experience he is having in the corporate, its position, currently the last position he has worked for, location, or it's like what its current location, and tech stack. Tech stack again, it's the domain for which he is being interviewed for, right? So basically, in prompts, variable, basically this prompt is a dictionary. Okay. And when you will check the data type of this prompt, you will certainly find that this is a dictionary and it holds the value and it holds the elements in key value pairs, right? So now what I will do, I will just return my this particular prompts, my this particular value. So I will write here return, and I will return prompt dot get field. Again, what is a field here? Field here again, it's a parameter, or you can say it's a positional argument. So you can write whatever of your choice. Why I have written here field, so that anyone who is using this code will get familiar with why I am using this particular word as field. You can write your name as well. Again, it's the matter of choice. But again, if you'll be writing your name or any other variable, so what will happen, anyone who will be accessing your code, so he might not be able to understand why you have written this particular variable here, and it might find him difficulty for to just understand this code. So to maintain the readability of the code, I am right, I have written here field. Okay. And again, why I've passed here two values. So you can see here I am using a basically a dictionary here. For that reason I am passing here two values, right? So what I will do on my next step, I will just generate the questions for my prompt. Okay. And I will write here def generate questions prompt. And here what I will do, I will not write here questions, I will write here text stack. Why particularly tech stack here? It's the one and the only thing, because we have taken here in our config.py, we have created a list name text, uh, as you can see here. Yeah, here you can see here default tech stack. We have created a dictionary list here, and in that particular list it will holds all the domain related queries, means like for which domain you are getting being interviewed for, right? And what I will return, and basically what this def function, def generate question prompts will do, it will just go to our main.py file, and within the main.py file, I have embedded an API key. So basically what that API key will do, that particular API key will redirect you to the generative AI website or generative AI questions, right? And from that particular website, from that particular field, the questions will be redirected to your chatbot. So for that particular thing, I have created this function named as def generate questions prompt, and within that I am passing a positional argument named as text stack. Okay. Now in the return, what I will write, I will use a half string f. And again, why I am using a half string f here, because again it's a string formatting tool, and why do we use string formatting? For that particular thing I've already made a video, so you just go there and watch my day 19 video. In that particular thing I have talked about the string formatting and why it's useful for our code. So if you are difficult, if you are facing difficult in understanding this particular line of code, so if you'll watch that video you will get the things. And why I'm explaining this chatbot, because I am expecting that you guys know these things, know the basic things. What do you mean by functions, what do you mean by string formatting, right? So for that particular thing I'm not getting into much of the details. I'm just explaining what is needed for this particular chatbot, right? So what return function, what return I have given to this particular uh, function is, I will ask my gen AI to generate three interview questions for each of these technologies. And again, what of those technologies, it's like I have used here comma, and again that will again depend upon the user answer. Like for example, if user is is selecting full stack developer, right? So the gen AI will generate questions for full stack developer. If the user selected for react, so the gen AI will generate questions for react. If the users have selected for Django, so similarly the gen AI will generate questions related to Django. Okay, so for that particular thing I have put here comma, and after each thing it will join the text stack questions. And again, why I'm using here join function? So basically join function, it helps us to join the two particular strings, right? And again, on the next part what I will do, I will use generate another function, and in the another function what I will do, I will just use def fallback prompt. Fallback prompt means, for example, this particular chatbot is being used by some uh, you can say by some corporate, right? For example, this particular chatbot is for example, you are hiring, you are an HR of some particular company, and you are using the chatbot. Why you are using the chatbot? You are using the chatbot so that you can segregate the candidates. You can before actually telephonic round, you can segregate among them so that you can get the refined candidates, right? So for that particular thing, the hr knows that we are hiring for Django, we are hiring for React, we are hiring for full stack, right? We are not hiring for data science, we are not hiring for data analyst, right? So anyone will who will give the prompt for data analyst or for data science, so certainly this chatbot will return that no, this job role is not particularly for this field. So just re-enter the prompt, or you can just re-enter the domain. If you don't want to re-enter, if you can quit, then certainly you will type quit and you will just get removed from that particular chatbot, and uh, the functions, everything will be closed, right? So this particular function is to for the fallback prompt. Fallback prompt is like, if the user is not uh, giving the prompt according to the particular domain, according to the particular questions which is being designed for this particular interview. Okay, so I will write here def fallback. And again, you can see here what message I am giving to that particular user. You can see here, I didn't quite get that, could you rephrase? Could you rephrase means like, for example, the chatbot will ask you the list of domains, means like in the text stack, when you can see in config.py, I have written here that's okay. For this particular thing, the chatbot will interact and generate questions because the hiring is for Python, Django, React, and SQL. Okay, so anything other than these four, if you are writing it, our chatbot will give a prompt that he didn't get that and he want the user to rephrase it, right? So now we have come to an end of our prompt.py. So here in prompt.py, whatever thing we have rewritten here, what all things are there? First of all, the chatbot will greet the user, and after that the chatbot will ask give the prompt, and he will ask the details related to his name, email, phone number, experience, position, location, tech stack, this particular thing. And after that it will generate the questions, and it will generate the questions according to the prompts. Like for example, there are four specific domains. First is Python, another is Django, third is React, and fourth one is SQL. Okay, so if someone selects for SQL, right, so it will generate the three interview questions for each of those technologies, and similarly the candidate can answer it accordingly, right? And again, if the user haven't given the prompts as per our domain requirements, so the chatbot will ask to just rephrase the prompts so that it can generate the questions accordingly which is needed for that particular organization, for that particular HR. Okay, so here we have come to an end, and what we will do tomorrow we will just move on to our next module. Our next module is utils.py. Okay, and particularly in utils.py, what we will do, we will use a cloud streamlit, and we will just store our whatever data is there, right? Whatever thing is there, we will try to reconnect with streamlit, and that particular thing we will be depicting in utils.py. And similarly, day after tomorrow we will just move on to the data handler.py, and in particular data handler, what we will do, we will particularly save the data, and particularly that data will be in the form of JSON file. So these all things are way to go. So right now I am stopping here, and tomorrow uh, we will just connect at the same time, and we will just discuss about utils.py. And I think within a matter of 3 to 4 days we will be completing this chatbot. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining, and see you tomorrow then. Goodbye, good luck, take care, Jai Hind.